Hey everybody, good afternoon. This is Doc Severson with Ready Set Crypto. Today is Wednesday, the 22nd of March. This is Fed Day. Fed Day, here we go. And it looks like I have locked up. Hang on a second here. I am going to see if I can get this fixed here. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and we're just going to move it over to here. And maybe I'm going to just, there you go. Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. I'm just going to take myself off of the camera because it looks like I've locked up and the brain function there. So, hello, we got folks coming in. Robert from Slovenia. We've got CH checking in. We've got Zachariah from Morocco. I want to see where you guys are coming in from today. All right. Let's see. We did lock up here. Hang on a second. I'm going to see if I can get this back here. And so, yeah, there we go. Let's see if we've got it now. Nope. No, we are locked up. We are locked up. There we go. Okay, we're working now. Okay, we got, let's see, Rajith coming in from, where are you, Rajith? We got Seb coming in from Florida. We got John Goldman from Marbella, Spain. Outstanding. So welcome aboard, everybody. Today is Fed Day. So we had the Fed report and come out with interest rate, another interest rate hike. Let's see what's going on today. Kind of negative price action so far. Negative price action so far in the main equity markets. We'll see. We've got another half hour to go before we close out the day, and crypto markets are down as well too. I wouldn't worry about that too much. We've had one hell of a move in just the last few days, so I'm actually looking for a little bit of a pullback. Welcome aboard, everybody. So come in, let me know where you're coming in from. Say hello, smash the like button. Let everybody know that we are getting started here. We're going to be talking about your coins for about the next half hour here, and then I'll be out of your hair. All right, so who else we got there? We got Steph who's coming in from Amsterdam. We got Murphy from Maryland. And yeah, DXY is nuking. We'll take a look at that. We got TN coming in from NY, New York. So let me start off with Mr. BTC. Let's start off with Bitcoin. What's going on here? We've had a move from 20,000 now. What I was telling you guys about over the last few weeks is we want to see from this bottom here, we got the nice move up. I wanted to see a higher low, and I wanted to see that higher low around 20,000. We got that. We went from 20,000 to 28,000. That's a good place for this to pause because this is the former support over here at 28,000. So when we came tumbling down here in April to the summer of 2022, former support becomes new resistance. So we need to set up the next base somewhere below 28,000. So this is no big deal, right? So now what we're going to do, and oh, by the way, we've gotten above that pesky 200 week moving average that so many people are whining about. Who else is coming in? We got Tony coming in from Los Angeles. We got Henry or Henri from South Africa. We got, let's see, Marcos. How you doing, Marcos? And we'll get into things here in just a second. We'll get into your, swing test 25,000. So you beat me to it. So there's a couple of things I want to bring to your attention here. First of all, I don't do these things lightly, but what I have here is what's called the anchored VWAP. Anchored volume weighted average price. This is the blue line here. And what I'm anchoring it from is back here in 10 March. So I'm anchoring this. Now this is going to become a dynamic support level by the institution. So anybody of size will be looking at this as a value buy. So it's institutions look at this and say, hey, if the average trader gets in, they're going to get in at somewhere around the VWAP. And so we're going to anchor it to this price. So follow my logic here for a second. So this may be the beginning of a pullback here. We have so far what's showing is a reversal candle today. We have a higher high and we have a lower close. This could actually be a key reversal bar if the close is outside of yesterday's price. That could be a key reversal bar, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to look for a place for this to come down to. I like the anchored VWAP as a place for this to come down to. Also, what we can do is we can throw on what are called the fibs, the Fibonacci retracements. So we're going to go from the bottom up to the very top, today's top up there. And guess what we have? We have the 38.2% retracement right at the same place as the anchored VWAP. So that's another vote for somewhere around 25,000. What we also have is the former highs up here showing up at the same level. So there's all kinds of reasons why I expect the price to come back down to about 25,000 and show support there. So we're going to be seeing plenty of those. Now, we've seen quite a few trend trading entries lately. So if I put this on trend trading, we had an entry on trend trading here. We have the stop for this screaming higher at some point. And hopefully that's not going to get down to or get up to 25,000 anytime soon, but probably will hold up around 23.4. So again, another reason for that to hold at that level, because that's going to be a 10-day low. That'll be our stop level for that. Now, what also is going to happen is we're going to see the RSI Laguerre on the pullback. We're going to see that pull down to maybe 25,000 or so. And if we do see a bounce off of there, what we're going to see on this blue line is we're going to see this head back up again. That's going to be our signal. So the next swing trade could key off at 25,000. Okay. Let's see who else we got there. Maf checking in. CFX Conflux on KuCoin. You bet. All right. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to your requests. And let's see. I think the first one is, let's see. The first one is Seb. CDBC on BTC. No, thank you. I was taking these seriously for a second. All right, CH, let's go look at the dollar index, all right? So CH was bringing up the fact that the dollar index is getting nuked here. This is the US dollar, and that's not looking very good at this point. Not looking very good. Now, the dollar going lower means that crypto is not going to have to fight as hard for this if you're using the dollar to purchase any assets. So if you have crypto versus a US dollar, if this goes down in value and this remains at par value, the whole equation goes up in value, right? So if we're fighting a strong dollar, if this goes up, then the crypto asset has to go up in value even more than that to retain par value. All right, so that's our US dollar, which is getting hammered pretty hard today. And that's not really affecting these. Now, Ripple's getting punked pretty hard. It did a nice rally yesterday based on the rumors of the SEC lawsuit, being positive, I guess. Maybe they're going to win. Maybe Ripple Labs is going to win that lawsuit. That was the idea behind the rally, but so far this is just a big base right now. So I wouldn't be looking to get into Ripple unless you want to get an early entry. If you want to add something with a little bit more safety, wait till this breaks out, because this should break up to about 90 cents. The measured move on this is about 90 cents. So if you want to wait for that, wait for the breakout. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to look at, Seb is also wanting us to look at Hex. Guys, let me know what you want to look at. Otherwise, we're going to have a short session here today. So we'll look at crypto, Hex versus USDC. And Hex looks really good. And again, this is one that we've looked at lately. We do have a buy signal here on Hex on the trend trading. So there's a buy signal there. on Hex. Looks good. That's at about 778 or so versus USDC. And if we look at the RSI Laguerre, we have not had a decent RSI Laguerre signal on this one. The pullbacks have been so shallow. So this thing is under heavy accumulation, although be careful of that. That looks like it may be a potential shooting star today. Maybe a potential shooting star. But I like Hex a lot. If we look out at the weekly chart is in exhaustion. So what you might want to look for is some type of consolidation on Hex, staying below 10 cents. Maybe consolidating at this level, chopping around. This is going to do it a world of good to do that, similar to what we saw here, right? Okay, the next one we have is CFX. CFX. If I can type, that would be awesome. CFX on Tether. Ooh, that's a nice looking swing. That's a weekly swing. So this one has been, notice what's happened with the, I think we talked about this one last week. Notice what's happened with the character. This thing was just dead in the water, and then all of a sudden the volume came in, moved to a different level. So we're seeing range expansion, range contraction, bull flag, range expansion. We're at exhaustion. So what would be good is for this to set up some type of consolidation pattern here. The swing test is just about 35 cents on this guy. So math, that's a nice looking coin. That's a nice looking move. Let's look at the weekly chart. And the weekly chart is, you can see the volume coming in. So this one does look very good, does look very healthy with this volume coming in. Something changed here. I don't know what. Again, I'm just the idiot savant that looks at chart levels and things like that. All right. So this one looks good, CFX. Next one that we have is for Steph B. We're going to look at Chainlink. Chainlink, the mighty Chainlink. Let's see how this one is doing on Binance. Now, on the weekly chart, this one's not looking very good. This is just chopping around in a range. What I'd want to see is for this to trade significantly above 8.5 or so. If we put this on the trend trading, you can see that we're looking at a potential buy point here. The price has been sort of coiling around the 200-day moving average. I would not enter at this point, quite honestly. I would not want to enter until we get an end day signal up here at about 8.4. I don't necessarily want to be buying the lowest possible price if this is all just a noisy area. If we can see this here, all of this is just a great big base. This is just a great big base. And so I'd be a lot more comfortable waiting for it to get beyond this base instead of getting chopped around in this sort of noise down here. So it's just rolling around in the gutter, waiting to see when it's going to have some kind of change of pace to get above 10 bucks. So for me, no bueno. No bueno, senor. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I am going to move over to, let's see. Going to move over to just price and volume for these. Okay, so that's Chainlink for Steph. And Marcos wants to look at CELR. Marcos has always got something cool to look at. And we're going to look at probably the Kraken one here. Look at this. We're just now starting to get a 200-day moving average. So this is a fairly young coin. And you can tell that by the way that the price action is working back here. Very, very illiquid, very, very poor looking. But notice what's happening here with the volume coming in is that everything's starting to tighten up. Everything's starting to tighten up. If we look at this on the weekly chart, very, very illiquid and starting to tighten up now with a big volume coming in. So this one's starting to look good. Now that's definitely a big RSI hook down here. Big RSI hook as you're clearing the descending pattern back to the upside. So this one's relatively inexpensive too, only a couple of cents per coin for CELR on Kraken right now, or whatever exchange that you're buying these on. So this actually looks good, Marcos. I like the transition from low liquidity, low volume to more liquidity and much more linear price action. Okay, next one is for SEB, RNDR. And this one is looking okay. It's a little bit unstable. So this is render token. This is one of the ones that we were looking at from here. So this one's trying to get out of a base. This one's trying to escape a base. It's almost like you can think of this as an airplane running down the runway and trying to get up enough speed to get airflow over the wings and to get pulled up here. And it's just maybe a little too heavy right now. It's bouncing off the runway. It's trying to get some altitude, and it's having a difficult time doing so. So before I would get into render token, I would want to see this pullback generating a new uptrend with a move above 1.6. So to me, above 1.6, this would be a buy stop there. If it's able to break above 1.6 and trade above that, you might have the move up to this level, which is what? Let's get this out of the way. That would be about, what, 2.2. So it's starting to get somewhere, and we're starting to get some volume. So render token is starting to wake up a little bit, but it's still in a very dicey area because this could lead to a lower high, roll over, and back in the gutter it goes. So you can see how important that point is at 1.6. Hey, it's RJ. Good to see you, RJ. I don't know if you've joined us on one of these things before. In New Mexico. All right, so let's see if we can, I'm going to do these really quick. Let's take a look at Woo. Woo, pretty choppy here. Not necessarily a great chart. If we look at the weekly chart from this, weekly chart is just a mess. I'll tell you what, I have a difficult time coming up with any kind of patterns from this. It seems to be entirely 100% random. So I would wait until this starts to get accumulation and starts to be more linear for this one. Okay, next one is GMT. GMT versus Tether. And let's see how this one is looking. This one still is having a difficult time. Let's go over to just price and volume. And this one's below the 200-day moving average in green. So I'd say avoid anything that can't trend above the 200-day. So that one's on hold for right now, GMT. Let's look at OP. OP versus Tether. Now this one's looking better. This one definitely looks better. This one is on its way somewhere. Now this looks like a big weekly consolidation. It looks like a big weekly bull flag like this, right? So if we pull this over to the RSI Laguerre, we can see the weekly energy is building up, building up. I would want to wait until we get above 3 for this one. Wait till it breaks above this level, because that shows you that this is a lower low, and that's a warning signal. But if it's able to break above this, that shows you that that's a larger time frame pullback. A break above 3 would be the answer here on this one. All right, APT, this one is still pretty new as well too. This is the coin that's by the formerly known as Meta or Facebook or whatever you want to call it. This one is still kind of wait and see mode, and I would wait and see. This one's too young to even have a 200-day moving average, so I'd wait until this thing breaks above like 14.5 before I'd look at any kind of an investment in this one. All right, next one for RJ is People. This is a new one for me. All right, and this one also is in a just an extended base, and you're going to have to be patient with this one until it trends above 4 cents. Let it stay in this base. It's just a big mess down here, and it's not, it's like fighting in the dungeon, right? You're never going to win. You want to get out of the dungeon. So you want to wait until this thing breaks above 4 cents and then see if it starts to accumulate with good volume. Okay. Thank you very much, RJ. Seb, next one is HOPR. HOPR. All right, same comments with this one. Now, if we take this one over to price and volume, we're going to see that this is above the 200-day moving average, but not really. I mean, this is not a good trend. I also don't like the volume on this one. The volume and liquidity are very poor. The way I can see that is just very gappy behavior, which means that basically there's no trading activity on this thing at all. Now, occasionally you're seeing some volume spikes, but there's no real accumulation into this coin. We're seeing lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. That's a descending pattern. If it's able to break out above this level and start to get some volume on it, then you can pursue, but right now I would avoid. Okay, MAF, let's take a look at Cypher, which is a mining stock. Cypher mining. Okay, this one is also, looks like the rest of crypto, but it's starting to get somewhere now. It's starting to get somewhere. I would wait until this breaks above 3, quite honestly. Let's see what's happening. Equities markets are getting hammered pretty hard right now after the Fed meeting today. So we're going to see all risk assets get pretty well trashed today. But again, we're looking for that pullback. And as I went over in the first few minutes here on BTC, that's about 25K. So that's where we want to be looking for a bounce down to that level. So I don't like this one unless it's able to break above 3. As most things are still quite early. Okay, hey, Noza Capital, welcome aboard. We're going to look at Cardano here. Cardano, there we go. And we'll look at this versus Tether. So Cardano versus Tether still can't get over the 200-day moving average. So I would say this is still a void until it's able to break above 39 to 40 cents and get above the 200-day moving average. Okay, let's check Ether. Ether is good. This is good. Let me check the anchored VWAP with this one. And I'm going to take this back to March 10th for the anchored VWAP. So March 10th. And there we go. So there's your support. There is potential support, which is going to be right around this area at about 1690 something, 1700. 1700 should be support, although that's an ugly looking candle today. We're going to see ugly looking candles on just about everything today. So it's all right. Don't worry about that. That's just the Fed doing what the Fed does. Okay, couple more to go. And we're going to be wrapping up here around the top of the hour. So if you have any final requests, please get them in while you can. While we finish up today, GRT. Let's look at GRT versus Tether. All right, GRT versus Tether. All right, we got that big volume spike, but since that point, this is almost like, a dog chasing a car down the street. It's just not going to end well. So all the retail chased after this thing, GRT, for whatever reason back here in February, and then it just hasn't gone anywhere since that point. What I'd like to see is for this thing to have consolidated and then broke higher. But for right now, this is still in kind of like a weekly downtrend. So it hasn't got anywhere. I agree that it's got potential. This is how things get out of the basement. But it hasn't got there yet. It needs to break above 25 cents before I'd look at this. So that's for Cryptomania. All right, couple to go here. And then ADVT. Thank you, everybody, for showing up here today. Ooh, that's Advantis token. Well, I don't know what you're looking at it versus. The only way I could chart this is versus wrapped ether. And right now it's in bad shape versus wrapped ether. Oh, am I dumping the market? Did I do that again? I'm sorry, guys. Please, sometimes we have to lose the battle to win the war, right? Let's lose the battle to win the war. All right, AGIX, and I think this was a really good one last week. And let's see how we're doing with AGIX. This is indeed doing quite well lately. Volume has been coming in on this one, and it's holding the anchored VWAP from the bottom so far. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this one give back just a little bit. So watch this one on the fibs. If we take this one on the fib retracements from bottom to top, we're still holding. It's right around the 38.2, but it looks like it wants to get down to about 50%. So this one is still, hasn't really transitioned into big trending yet. Big time trending. All right. Cryptomania, let's go see Joe. Joe versus Tether. All right, so yeah, this one's looking all right. So let's see what we have here. So this one has been pretty ugly for a while, but now seems to be climbing out of it. I agree. So that, what we have here on the weekly chart, you have a higher low, higher high combination. So that's all good. This one's still fairly immature though. Hasn't been around for very long. It has at least gotten a 200-day moving average. So I would want to see this one stay above 32 cents. So we're getting some distribution coming in, but we have good volume on this one. Stay above 32 cents. That's what it needs to do. And then it needs to break above 50 cents ultimately. So watch for the entry around 32 cents. Okay, Seb, let's do the final one for today. Let's do Binance Coin. So Binance Coin is coming down to its anchored VWAP for today. And let's draw a fib on here for Binance Coin. From the bottom. So it seems to have survived the FUD. We're coming down to that 38.2 right there. So I'm not saying it has to hold there. I would say it should hold above the 50%. You don't want to see it coming down past the 61.8. So we may see a really strong pullback in the next day or two here as we try to process the Fed. And that is the thing. All right. So let's see if there's anything else that comes in for you guys. Nothing seen. I encourage you guys to, if you're not a subscriber, I encourage you guys to go check out ReadySetCrypto.ONE, because what we have is trading signals here. So we got trend trading signals coming in. Those are firing in. We have RSI Laguerre. We're going to see a lot of signals fire in with all this news. And these are just the initial ones. We're going to be adding more, I think, relatively soon. And we're going to show people how they can take these trades if they want. So again, check it out. There's 7 days of free trial, and would love to see you online and anything that you need to help you in your crypto adventure. Thanks, everybody. You guys take care. I appreciate you guys, joining me here today, and I will see you in probably about another week or so. Usually on Wednesday afternoons, we do these things. So love interacting with you guys. I want to see you next week as well, too. So thanks very much. You guys have a great Wednesday. I'll see you soon. Bye now.